So, here we are. As we could say, they might be from the same country, but the deck selection is quite different. Matthieu on Radiant Typhoon and Samir on one of the few Mitsurugi we are seeing in action, and it's Matthieu going first.
And we discussed this yesterday, how pure Mitsurugi can interact with Radiant Typhoon, because it feels like that a deck like Mitsurugi doesn't have the right actions for Radiant Typhoon. However, I think that if one player has think about this and brings Mitsurugi to YCS Dortmund, it is Samir that has potentially find an answer to this question.
But this is tough. Crosshair gets to resolve. That's never a good feeling. You really want to save your interruption there to try and slow things down, because this gives so much advantage to Matthieu. And I mean, we are used to seeing him do well with quick spells, aren't we?
I mean, yeah, Samir's list is quite particular, especially because it's full of one-offs. We have seen his deck list being always, you know, particular, I would say. But this matchup is for sure very interesting, because yesterday talking with Samir, it was I think X2 from the very beginning, so he's being on the bubble for at least 6 rounds, I would say. But he's one of those super experienced players which you're always fear to play against because of his experience. Previous YCS champion as well. Marcello has the chance to interview him for YCS memories, and you know, always a pleasure to see the guy in action. But on the other side, of course, Matthieu, for those of you watching, former French national champion as well, has always been super competitive at the European level. And yeah, I think he's playing the deck that we were talking about for sure this week, and the Radiant Typhoon one, which, you know, sometimes lacks consistency, but for sure, when get things going, it's one of those decks that for sure here needs to be interacted by Fuvalos.
We see the Fuvalos, but honestly, this is one of the decks that really can play through the card with no issues. Like, you can't even give 0 draw. Usually you want to give one,
yeah.
But I mean, that's
to
about
prioritize the trap, at least.
Oh, and this is a bit of a rough one though, because usually when we see the self MST, you want to hit one of the quick spells, not the other one, because that's essentially a -2. But I mean, it's just gonna work out fine here for Matthieu.
And one thing that the both players have in common is that they are both deck building geniuses, right? You never know what Samir or Matthieu will bring to the table, since both give so much time to deck building and finding those correct non-engine options.
Looking at the top tables before this round, I've also noticed that there are quite a few Mitsurugi, and are you surprised? Like, we talked about it in the meta deck discussion, that the deck was still a viable solution.
But here comes Nibiru.
Interesting.
Definitely an interesting timing as well. Okay, so Matthieu just gonna chain this MSD so that he will get, when everything resolves, you know, to set his powerful draw engine back. And here Samir is just thinking whether he's gonna be attack or defense. I think Samir is just in love with Nibiru in general. We always see it in the deck. But my question is it just a one-off for the Gallant? Yes. Oh, wow. I mean...
I mean, there was someone we knew who used to play one-off saying, yeah, I mean, if I draw it and activate it, I don't need the other ones. So, for now.
If I draw it, I draw it.
It was you?
No.
No.
No, definitely not. No. And yeah, I mean, this has worked out perfectly for Samir. Like, honestly, making quick work of what would have been a threatening field. And now he's back on track with a full end.
And right now I think that Matthieu, if he doesn't already know, he understands that Samir is probably into pure Mitsurugi, and activating Ice Blossom to preparation of rights. It is one of those spots that you need to interact with Ice Blossom instead of waiting, for example, for Saji.
Yeah, I mean, again, two of the most renowned Frenchmen you can expect maybe to know what they're up against, and probably Matthieu knew, about Samir's deck and knew that the Nibiru was only a one-off. I don't blame him, honestly, for playing into it. And now we see, of course, the Ash to stop this. But again, Mitsurugi lost a lot of consistency, and so nowadays in Samir's deck we see multiple copies of those cards that used to be only run as a one-off. For example, Mitsurugi Ritual could always come down more often than it used to.
Also, I'm very curious to see how the matchup for Mitsurugi is against Radiant Typhoon, because most of the cards are quick spell cards. It's I'm very interested. It's I think it's difficult, no?
Yeah, but looking now at the field, I think that we're talking about consistency. However, I see prayers with the tribute of Asagi, which is quite good.
Quite good, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think, honestly, I don't know, the only thing going for it is the trap card. I think once they develop the trap card for Radiant Typhoon, it becomes easier because you can just prioritize using your MSTs to negate the spells. But this is not the case, and I think in this sort of game state, it's where Mitsurugi really is happy, and I really give the advantage to Samir in this game.
Yes, Nibiru played a crucial role in this scenario since, as you mentioned, Matthieu, I don't think that he thought about Nibiru at this moment, since he probably thought that it is a one-off due to Granite. However, Samir, as you said, if he has it, he has it, and he activated Nibiru, and I think that he has the upper hand right now.
So let's see, in terms of interruptions, I mean, we know that Matthieu just can use these Phonics to shuffle back 2 cards from the field. And we already know that the vision is face down if he wants to just fetch for more cards off the top. And I believe the other card should be the MST, because we added one with the link. So probably Samir knows everything, but at the same time, I'm guessing you would keep the MST in hand to discard it with the vision, so there is a chance that there is an unknown face down.
Should Samir right now prioritize to ritual summon from hand or deck?
Okay.
If you have Murakuma, I think
Easy answer.
Easy answer, right?
Yeah, also because now you pretty much force the hand of Matthieu. Technically, yes. Technically, no. I mean, it depends also. Does he have only 1 card in hand, Matthieu?
Maybe.
But also has the vision and can resolve it on...
For Murakumo, I just mean, because it could be very annoying.
Chain 1 Murakuma, chain 2 Phonics, chain 3 Murakumo, chain 4 vision.
No, because there is a world in which it's tough. If you let this resolve... No, because you can always summon the Phonics back from grave, no? Ooh, but it's the Sheena, and this changes so much. But I mean...
If you discard the Sheena, does it work like Nibiru?
No, because it's the effect on field.
It needs to summon. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Let me check. But I think it's 2 different effects. Then apply. Yeah, then apply. But I mean, now as you've mentioned, he lined up the interruptions in a way where he can still discard the card off the vision. And so, yeah, the last face down is Mystical Space Typhoon. Wow. I mean, I love Samir's spot still. Like, he has a full hand.
Yeah.
And also has Prosperity, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
La Prosperanos, yeah. And yeah, here comes back this Phonics. Phonics with the, again, Mystical Space Typhoon, which can be used. But, I mean, Samir has 6, 7 cards? 7 cards in hand. Like, oh.
So So you probably go for mirror right now.
I think so. I think you go for it, yeah.
Or we are debating about normal summoning Kusanagi. Yeah, normal summon Kusanagi, targeting the ritual.
Which is your favorite effect monster from the Mitsurugi archetype? Excluding the rituals, I mean. Just the level 4s.
Kusanagi.
Kusanagi?
Yeah, I like all these, follow-up that brings to the table that even ritual spell has been banished that can broach bats to the hand. Would you say Saji?
I mean, if you're talking about value, sure. Definitely the best one in my opinion, but in terms of everything else, actually like...
Aramasa.
Yes, Aramasa. Ooh, and here we see everything going, and yes, this is the last line of interruption available to Matthieu, even though, we used to say this was one of the first things you learn in Yu-Gi-Oh! That using your Mystical Space Typhoon against a spell does not negate it. In this case, there is still value to it, thanks to the Phoenix effect. Ooh, and Samir? Yeah, I guess already committed to this Murakumo, and now the Phoenix will be able to activate on both. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have the mirror and we have Murakumo in the graveyard, so...
Yeah, and Matthieu is showing him, maybe Samir not super familiar with the deck, that this is not once per turn, because there are two different effects. It's not, sometimes card says you get special summon from hand or graveyard. In this case, no, they're actually two different, conditions. Even so, because you can summon the one from the grave only if you activate Mystical Space Typhoon specifically. But, I mean, again, this is not quite over yet. We do already, we have activated the effect of just Raigeki. But in terms of attack points, Murakumo is still a threat.
And also being able to discard every turn one card from Matthieu's hand, otherwise the effect will be negated. I mean, it is very crucial, I guess. More control deck like Radiant Typhoon.
Indeed. And as we can see here, we just attack over and...
Matthieu had left the top deck, right?
Yeah, did we use the extra?
And we have also the purification added from the tribute of Habagiri.
Yeah. We didn't use the extra deck at all, right? So not even Typhon is an option. So this looks absolutely rough. And I'm sure Matthieu might be just moments away from picking up his cards, but let's take a look at what he picks up. I think it's a monster, and yes, he has seen enough, and it is Samir who is able to just completely disrupt what the Radiant Typhoon deck was, putting up on the field. You gotta give credit to the Rock.
Not only the Rock, to be honest, because I feel like we mentioned this yesterday. I know your point, but it is more like an engine versus engine, which engine can grind more. And as we saw, yes, Mitsurugi has a little problem in order to starting fighting the combo pieces. However, if it starts to popping off and find, for example, the ritual spell, the Murakumo, it feels like a day has never changed, right?
No, but I really also feel like, of course, the Nibiru helps Samir out a lot in this game one. But overall, it really showed us that Mitsurugi is super powerful. Like, we've mentioned it plenty of times this week, and the deck is super valid. And I really feel like also Matthieu has had a very good starting hand. On the other side, talking about the side deck, I really feel like Samir has a little bit of anything,
as usual.
But for sure, like, consistency is the main, is key. So for sure there's Draw and Lock, there's the double Cyclones as well. There's the number one enemy, then Kozeka. One.
In 2026?
I think we only saw it once, maybe this weekend, and when it was summoned. I think it was maybe round 2 or 3, I don't remember.
And also interesting, Pot of Extravagance in the side deck.
Yes, the third one.
Probably for Mulcharmy's patterns. But it's something you don't really see from anyone else. I guess overall the plan for this kind of matchup is to keep them at bay from, again, accessing the trap card. That's the main goal. It's tough to do so. Mulcharmi Puluria is your best friend because that card is really, really annoying for, Matthieu to deal with. From what concerns him, it's still more on the combo heavy side. Is he running Rainbow, the pendulum we have seen from Vincenzo?
No, he's not there.
Okay, so we won't be seeing, just a card that completely shuts down, and Dimensional Fissure, another popular option, is completely useless against pure Mitsurugi overall. So I don't think that will bring any help as well. And let's just see. Of course, you gotta be scared, but at the same time, in your mind, do you really respect any Nibiru now? I don't think so. Like, unless you're expecting, Samir to bring more from the side deck. I think just because you lost game 1 to it, I think you should still go for it, and the gameplay is clear.
And if he has it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's right. It's a one-off. If he didn't have it, it was just game, I'm pretty sure. So I believe Matthieu will not, be biased looking on what has happened. But let's find out. Since our players are ready, let's go back. If anyone has seen my stray, please bring it back. They took it away from me.
So the card highlight is relevant to Radiant Typhoon or Mitsurugi?
My heart. But here we see Matthieu not wasting any time. No Purulia, which is a great, great, great sigh of relief from his side. And yeah, I mean, we just gonna go.
And in the hand of Samir, I can see the Ash Blossom.
And we go for Ash here.
Wow, very brave Ash Blossom here being used by Samir.
Yeah, on the Swan. And I mean, you can just pray that it gets you there. In this case, it will be not even close. And Matthieu not only gets these cards off the vision, but then he will be able to summon from deck with Megala. And he has Art drawn. As we can see,
vision and the
Varuron. So pretty much everything. At this point, the only thing you're missing, which will be quite annoying since when was negated, are actually spells. But let's see if this resolves. This is the key. It does, and this is quite big.
However, Mitsurugi is one of those decks that can go second even without any hand trap and still bring threats to the table and manage to play into any field, right?
Yes and no, because again, it is true, but to do so, Mitsurugi needs those spells to resolve. And if you can just set up your mandate and then keep those Mystical Stays Typhoons to negate the ritual spells, I don't know how many push you can find,
One way to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out, as this will be the way to access the mandate. And again, the question rises, do we have Nibiru from Samir once more? Because now we have double MST. And here comes one of the newer cards, which is the Radiant Typhoon Ascendance, which allows you to special summon a level 6, but now we are still going for the other effect to search for the third and final copy of Mystical Space Typhoon.
And now, he gets to use the link as well to set up his mandate. I think this is, of course, what you're really looking for with the deck, to set up the mandate, something that was missing in game 1.
Great, and now Nibiru is off the table because we have set up these Varuron and Mystical Space Typhoon in the graveyard, so that's even an additional interruption.
Best of Protocol provided this powerful link too, and I think that Radiant Typhoon find the missing piece of the puzzle in order to be one of those competitive decks right now.
Yeah, I honestly don't see how you get out of this. Like, it's extremely tough for any deck because you still have the Megala, which can bring the Phoenix next turn, and then you have basically 2 cards that can negate any card thanks to the double Mystical Space Typhoon, and maybe even Totem Bird to add an additional layer. Yes, Totem Bird on the field. What an opening.
I think we got the chance to experience the full potential of Radiant Typhoon right now, as we can see a full field from Matthieu's side.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. We now have 3 ways to negate a spell and trap, which means you will need 4 ways of ritual summoning to get, that Murakumo on the field. And even if you do, you have, the negation effect for 1 monster. So.
And I think that Samir has in his hand as a 6th card an Impulse.
Wow. We go all in on this. Are you surprised we didn't set the other copy of Mystical Space Typhoon?
Not sure, honestly. Yeah, maybe Matthieu thought that this was already enough.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, it is. I don't know, honestly. I would have said it.
Maybe we wanted to discard for Vision.
But I mean, you do have monsters, and again, I don't think you really need to go for more draws. You don't need any. And we don't go for Megala. That's interesting. I mean, I thought, that was just pretty straightforward. You get an additional spell, you get the trigger off, you get the Phoenix, and then you have, basically 2 additional responses. But anyway, Samir recognizes when he's backed up against a wall, and his only way out seems to be this Typhon here.
And it was actually 2 summons from the extra deck, so we could play around without Totem Bird, which doesn't bring so much to the table, right?
No, honestly, all in all, no.
I mean, we always see it there, like part of the combo, but I really feel like it's the card that you need the least, honestly, from Radiant.
If this field is only weak to Crisis, why not just pass with 5 monsters, for example?
Yeah. No, but like in general, I really feel like with such an opener from Matthieu, I really find it difficult for Samir to come back into this.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I still think this is going Matthieu way. But I think we just had such an overwhelming opener that we should have gone fully committing, because like usually the only way you don't is when you're expecting your opponent to play cards like Lightning Storm, evenly matched, but you have outs for those. So like they need a very specific combination of like Droplet plus those, and I don't know if it's worth not going for it. Anyways, here we are still back on our turn.
And I think that any deck right now, if can resolve 3 times the effect of Vision to draw 2,
Yeah, I mean,
it is in a very good spot.
yeah, just look at this. We give up the Droplet. We know we don't need it. And again, although it's a level 9, when we take a look at the Radiant Typhoon monsters, in this case we have the negation ready because
it's enough.
we only have 0 attack, for the Vibrant. And that is indeed it. Samir recognizes this is not his game anymore. And although there is time, because we still have 27 minutes on the clock, you really don't want to risk, having a double loss. It would mean both of them have no chance to make it to the top 8. And so he picks up his cards, and now he will go first for the first time this match.
How do you feel about Impulse in the current meta? I think it is one of those cards that obviously is very powerful.
It's always good, yeah.
But I think that at this moment, for example, against Radiant Typhoon, it's not quite an option that you really want to see. It is more like a side card against the other strategies.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's one of those cards that for sure in some formats it will be meta-defining and like an absolute blowout.
Like the previous format, for example.
But I still think it's solid. It's like similar to Ash Blossom overall. You're always going to find a target for it in most decks. And again, against Radiant Typhoon, it depends a lot on how they play. If they expect it, they can use Crosea in a way where you cannot use it from your end, and so that way is really good. But for example, when you go first and you can set it, it's even better. And I still think against Dracotail, which is the most represented deck, you have a lot of ways where you can use it, and
I mean, it's the best card against.
Yeah,
it is. No,
so the second, the first one is Shifter, of course.
Yeah, and talking of, speaking of Shifter, it is one option for Samir. We have mentioned again, his side deck is a lot of one-offs, like not even joking, and that part of Extravagance probably will make its way through since we are starting. And I see actually a really underrated trap card from all back in the day, which is Magic Deflector. So that was played, even against spellbooks, like we're talking 12 plus years ago, Sky Strikers afterwards. And I mean, you have a lot of quick spells in this deck, so I think we easily bring it in, and it can really shine. So this is what Matthieu must be on the lookout for. But most importantly, we just want to, see Samir acting, uninterrupted, going first, see what his own version of, this combo is. Maybe just, this Granite searching for the one Nibiru and call it a day. But I mean, let's see what he's gonna come up with. He always brings something new to the table, and only one of these two amazing players representing France can advance with an X2 record. So let's find out who it will be. Here they are. And there is your impulse, so I guess we'll find out if it's good or not.
But I see a card in Matthieu.
I see full monster from Matthieu.
Yeah, full monster,
Yeah,
but...
do you see the right one?
No.
And I see also the left one, though, which is Fuva.
I can't see anything, guys. I don't know.
I mean, prayers is always pretty much the best thing you can do.
Especially with tribute of Aromasa also.
Yeah, and I mean, it's similarly to how the Radiant Typhoon deck plays. It's a quick spell. You can play it in the draw phase to play around draw and lock, and it's really what you need to pretty much get things going, and this is what we are gonna see. Chooses to go for Saji second, sending maybe some signals.
Yeah, I also thought about this. I think we prioritize to find Mitsurugi Ritual monsters. We already have the mirror in the hand.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Abakiri. I mean, we haven't seen Abakiri pretty much at all, but let's see if that is going to be the case, or I mean, if we already have access.
You can go for Murakumo straight away to play against roll.
And we actually get Purification, which is another great way.
And also Fugalos.
Yeah. So here comes the ritual. It's probably going to be from end. Well, let's see. You do have both options.
I think it's from hand, but Matthieu might think about Fugalos right now, because otherwise he will need to also discard a card.
Yeah.
So I think a very good call from Matthieu. So despite that Mitsurugi Ritual was activated to ritual summon from hand, but he chose to activate Fugalos in order to protect one card from his hand.
Yeah, it's the small details that matter, and again, it's those things that come with experience and playing a lot of matches. I saw also at the top tables, some decisions when it came to using this vision in the draw phase, and then chaining Purulia to it just in case they draw into Ash Blossom or Call by the Grave. And it's a lot of these things that at the top level you really should consider. And let's see.
And I think right now we just activated Mirror to ritual summon from the graveyard, and we can play under Nibiru, under Fugalos, because we don't provide any draw, and just pass with Fucho, Murakumo, Saji on the field, Purification Prayers. I think
that's quite of a good start, honestly.
Yeah.
If there's a deck against Fugalos is not super impactful, it's Mitsurugi, because he can play very well around it.
And keep in mind that Matthieu also has a draw in his hand.
Yeah, but this is what I wanted to ask you. Like, I agree the play with Fuvalos was good, but do you think there was merit to just activating the draw and discarding the Fuvalos for Murakumo instead?
I mean, it used to play a playback in a previous format in Rachel Mitsurugi strategy that you activated chailing one Fugalos. If they has Blossom, you just chain Droll and Lockbird. Otherwise, you just always do use Droll there as a chailing 2 because it's very strong against Mitsurugi.
Yeah.
But
So,
I
not
think
too sure.
also it is depending on the Matthieu hand.
Yeah.
If he needs those draws to find more engine, for example.
And I do believe I see a second trap in the end from Samir. Could that be the deflector?
No, I think it's the.
The impulse. No, with the impulse we saw at the start, right? I mean,
No, it's a good start, huh?
it's good. Again, he's here considering whether he should even commit.
To a draw.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think I would be happy
you
with
don't
this.
give.
No, I think so. Yeah, you don't give it to the.
Especially to Radiant Typhoon.
Yeah. The only thing is that we already are under Nibiru, if that's what you're afraid of.
Bravo, Samir. Yes.
But
I think it makes a lot of sense. Bravo.
Wow. And we set the full end. Completely committed to the field, no cards in hand. Or last minute change. Yeah, never mind. At the very last second, we change our mind and we are just gonna, I guess, insulate ourselves furthermore with this Nibiru.
So we provide so much value to Nibiru against Radiant Typhoon.
I see the card that was being drawn from Fuvalos.
I mean,
I can tell you that here it's cold in Dortmund, and
on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, it's not the greatest against this deck. But anyways, here we start things off with the Swen. But here it's important to mention, this is not a special.
Yes, since Samir controls spell and traps in his spell and trap zone, and Mystical Space Typhoon is not in Matthieu's graveyard.
okay.
Wow.
Goes for the purification right ahead.
I think that we are considering maybe Sina. That's why we interact with Sven right
And
away.
that's it! Wow, revealing double Droll and Lava Golem.